Hey, welcome to the Steve Davis Show. Special guest today is Roy Sanchez, head basketball coach at Eldorado High School, also the athletic director. And Roy, thanks for coming in.
Thanks,
good win.
Steve.
Congratulations on a good win last night in Zano.
A lot of fun.
But what a fun season. I mean,
Yeah.
You're starting to gel. I say this in Bill that you're the hottest team in the state. We have Las Cruces. That is probably the team that everybody's can mark as number one, but they've been there all year, and you guys just all of a sudden are just starting to gel.
Well, you're right. I mean, Las Cruces hasn't lost, so you got to consider them the number one team. Obviously, they're real good, well coached. Coach Benjamin does a great job. But here we go in the city, and we're playing a lot of good teams, and headed towards March. But now the district's rolling around now, big crowds. The band's coming to the game, the cheerleaders, the drill team. More and more people are coming. More people are coming. We had a pretty good packed gym last night, and the kids just have to deal with it and learn, and listen, and because it's not an empty gym, you gotta listen to the coaches and listen to the teammates and talk on defense and those kinds of things. So we're adjusting to that now. It's going well.
Hey, let's go back to the Metro Churn. It's funny. That's like 2 weeks. That seems like a lifetime away ago. But let's kind of go back and enjoy that moment. A team that here we are right now against Volcano Vista, and Valencia had taken it to the basket, and how he's just so improved since the beginning of the season.
Yeah, those kids, they just play hard, and we were lucky enough to have the semifinals and finals in our gym. It was just that rotation and our draw, and got some home games, so that was kind of nice. You could see how unselfish our kids are, and they look for each other, and they make plays, put the ball in the basket. That's what you got to do.
And before you went to this game, you had to play at Trisco Heritage, and Trisco Heritage was number one in the polls, I guess you would say, and the challenge. But it's fun to watch your team because it's like a shooting display. It's just not like one team, one member of the team, and then there's unselfish play that has made you one of the hottest teams in the state.
It's even better when you don't put any missed shots in there. Thanks.
You like that?
Yeah.
It makes you do. And how nice is that to have your blue shirts and on your own home court?
That was special. That was really nice, and get to put that trophy in the trophy case for a year at least, and just good kids. I mean, you don't even know how good kids these are. They're just great young men. It's really fun to go to practice every day, and it's really neat.
Well, this team you kind of put together. I mean, if you really go back, I can remember 3 years ago or so that
they're undefeated as C-team guys, and we kind of kept them together.
And you could have moved them up, I remember talking to you, and you go,
right.
No, just keep them where they're at.
A couple of them played a little bit of JV or whatever, but we mainly kept them together, and they went undefeated on the C team. And then, as sophomores, we kind of kept them together on the JV, and they went undefeated, and just kind of kept them together. A couple of them floated here and there, but we kept them together. And last year they're real solid, and this year they're real solid. They just get along so well. Played with each other for so long now, 4 years. This group with Tyler Rogers and Jalen and Mike Muno as seniors, they get along so well, and the good kids. We're lucky at Eldorado to have good kids.
And you know what? I know they're good kids, but they're great athletes too. There's a good thing about having good kids, but they're competitive and.
Mike Muno is a state singles champ the last 2 years, state singles tennis. So you say good athletes. They play other sports, really good athletes. They know how to put the ball in the basket. So. Just real lucky to where I'm at, and my assistant coaches, they do a great job. Yvonne Sanchez, Pat Baca, Isaac Massey, Jim Halston, they just do a great job with skill development. We spend 20-30 minutes every day in practice on skill development, shooting, rebounding, whatever, and they do a real good job with that.
Well, and that shows up, and the reason I say it shows up, I think I've done now maybe 4 or 5 games just in the last 2 or 3 weeks and you don't make a lot of turnovers. It's pretty amazing. for your up and down pace, you know, because you like to run. I mean,
Right.
the deal. I mean, your guys like to run. They like to get it out, but
They have to value the basketball, and we do like to run. And some teams are trying to adjust. You know, we played Sandy the other night, and they held it for the first 2 minutes. They held the basketball for the first 2 minutes, and we cannot get frustrated with that. We've got to just continue playing, stay mentally tough, knowing teams are going to try different strategies on us, and we were able to pull out the victory against Sandy. It was a close game the whole game, and last night with Manzano it was a close game. People know us, people scout us, people watch film on us too. You know, I mean, we tell our guys we're not the only ones that watch film or go scout the other teams. They watch stuff on us, and it helps. And we've got to, you know, we've got to improve on our weaknesses, make our weaknesses our strengths. And when we see something, even though we're winning, we can't be satisfied all the time because they exploited something. So we got to figure out what that is and go back to practice and with the skill development, you know, improve on that.
Well, as you and I both are, you know, is that this time of the year,
Yeah.
all the teams get better. I mean, this just everything. Everybody's working on their skill development. They're looking on their scout. They know that make their weaknesses. You know,
Right.
I mean,
All that.
And I know I went to one of your, you know, practices. I hadn't gone this year, but over the years, it's
Oh, yeah.
you know, you always preach that. Hey, look. There's the other team. Are we working hard? I remember your speech.
Yeah.
You don't even know that I did. It was, hey, I know you guys are working hard, but just remember, you know, the La Cuevas, the Sandiz, they're working just as hard too. Are we working harder and smarter than they are?
Harder and smarter.
Is that pretty good? You didn't think
Yeah,
I was even.
exactly.
I was ready to suit up.
You took notes too, huh?
Right.
Back in the day, Steve Davis could play. Trust me, ladies and gentlemen. You know, he was on that '78 Lobo team that you know was pretty good, ranked 4th in the country. Steve was right there with him, and I think I got him fired up to play with us. But he knows, and Steve knows, and day in and day out, you got to do the same things. And I tell our guys, don't be bored with this. Don't be, you know, it's the ritual. You got to go through this same stuff every day. You know, pass and catch. I mean, how tough is that? It sounds easy, but against good defense, you've got to be able to pass and catch and locate your offensive teammate and make a shot under stress. That's not easy to do. A lot of kids think they can do it, but against really, really good teams, you know, like you said, during this time of year, that half-court offense is really, really important. That half-court defense is really, really important. So you got to continue practicing that every day.
Roy, we're going to go to the Dream Style Top 10 Plays of the Week.
All right.
Come back, talk more about Eldorado basketball.
All right.
Patterson's going to fade back on a 3, and he knocks it down. Ortiz was tripped up inside. Garland at the buzzer. Yes! This District 2 in play. Look at the crossover by Tamina Levine.
Of Atrisco Heritage. Ramos, nice tuck move to the basket, layup is up and it's good.
Beyond 3 seconds to go in the corner, and he'll.
Quarter score from Atrisco is 50-30 in favor of the Jaguars. In transition, hammer it home! Jaden Phillips with a stuff!
Pass by White around the back, all the way. Deathridge fit. I don't know how it.
6.0 to go.
Well, I feel they're going to try to get it to Patterson. They got to get him the ball on a
Down. This time the bigs are back. So just guards in the backcourt here.
Oh, man.
It's a good court. They're going to
play.
get Patterson on the run.
Good
Underneath
play,
for the
good
win!
play.
The New Mexico High School Coaches Association, established in 1941, is an organization of New Mexico's best and most professional interscholastic coaches. Coaches across work daily to help our student athletes excel in the classroom, on the field of play, and in our communities. Students that participate in interscholastic activities attain higher grades, higher graduation rates, and higher wages. Responsible for the North-South All-Star Games, statewide Coaches Award Program, and providing multiple professional development opportunities for New Mexico's coaches. Be a great coach by coaching beyond the game.
Hey, welcome back to Steve Davis Show. We got Roy Sanchez, head basketball coach and athletic director of Eldorado High School. And again, you know, it's been fun for me, Roy, to watch your team. It's always fun for me to see you develop your team and watch this team. And I get, you always I get kind of close to the players. I get to talk to them before the game. You let me talk to them.
Well, you're a good friend, Steve. You're a good friend. You always have been. You've always, you know, supported my team and high school basketball, and I really appreciate that. I mean that, and you know that. You're a good friend. Bottom line.
But it's fun. It's always fun to do a Eldorado game. But you know, I kind of want to. This Eldorado La Cueva game is building up to be a fans. You know, if you're an Eldorado fan, if you're just a La Cueva fan, and it's going to be at La Cueva, and then it's on a Friday night. It's going to be Me TV on 26 on direct. But you know, I know Adam's excited. I'm excited about it, and two teams that are really have great shooters. I mean, if you want to see an offensive exhibition, you know, and defense is about it. But I'm just saying that you said the word guys that can hit pressure shots. Both teams have those type of guys. Even if you're playing great defense, these guys can go out and hit shots.
No doubt about it. You know, I mean, we're going to go over there, and both teams, I believe, are 3-0 in district now. So we've beaten the other teams or whatever, and you know, it's going to be a shootout, like you said. It's going to be a shootout. A lot of kids. The band's going to be there. You know, all that. You know, at their place, and all our kids will be there, and it's just going to be one of those rivalry games. Here we go again, and it'll be fun. You know, it'll be fun, and you know, whoever.
It's already given me goosebumps. I'm like last night. You know, I even told you I got my. You know, we have a little bit of, you know, keys to winning the games, and when I get to play a coach, and I've seen your team. I've seen Frank Castillo, and we want to congratulate Frank for a 700 win before, you know.
Yeah,
that's
congratulations. That's a testament to what he's done. You know, there's not a lot of old time coaches that stay around anymore, and you know, props to him. And you know, Bill Gentry stayed a long time, and you know, those guys just. You know, they just really set the stage for us younger coaches to, you know, continue to do what we do.
And that's become really you know, I was talking to Coach Brazard last night, and you know, and when I was coaching, it was really Sandia, Eldorado, La Cueva. All of those were really big rivalries. But what he was saying, basically, the big rival now is basically Eldorado and La Cueva is the bigger.
Yeah, there was a time there when Sandia and La Cueva were in the same district, and we were not in that district. You know, there was a time, and they were big rivals, and real big, and especially in football. You know, Coach Warren and you know, those guys were football. But now with basketball and everything, you know, Eldorado and La Cueva has become, you know, with, you know, Bryce Alford and Cullen Neal and those days and stuff, and it's coming a little bit back to that. So. You know, it'll be an intense game. It'll be an intense game Friday night. Can't wait either.
Well, I'm telling people, it was kind of neat, and hope they still do that, is that, you know, they have an Eldorado where you can walk in on that, you know, outside, and then you walk on in.
Right.
I got it all down. Because I remember in the beginning, it took them a while to figure that out because there was just one line all the way out, out the gym. So,
They let the schools know in advance which door to go into and those kinds of things.
That's kind of neat. I mean, I know it's a distraction, but it's kind of, you know, it's kind of neat that, you know,
maybe you can help the athletic director over there at La Cueva help them out and organize that for them, Steve.
Well, I'm just thinking ahead. I just thought it was. I know the last two games that y'all played, it was set up that way, and it makes it just easier flow. There's two ticket lines and that, but. You know, that's just one game. You know, it could have been in perfect. I'm glad you came on today. It was just happened to be this. Both teams are you know, district play, and you know, and I'll make this statement. I keep saying you're the hot. You know, the second hottest team may be La Cueva right now.
Oh,
we don't want to downplay.
They're good.
The
You know, Calais can shoot it. Like you say, they have shooters. Ramirez is going to shoot. Isles, those kids can shoot it. You know, I mean, they're very talented. They're very under the radar. You know, and people are taking notice of them right now a little bit too. So.
And that's what I've seen in them, Roy. I mean,
Yeah.
I've done 3 of their games too.
Right.
I've almost
No.
been, you know, I've been watching them close, and I, you know, I got to, you know, Mike Danoff and myself we did a. He asked me to come and be an assistant coach, and we.
Right.
And that opened my eyes up because it was, you know, it was
Yeah.
just a scrimmage. But I kept telling people, I says, I think I even told you, I says, this team, you know, once they get all the moving parts in the
Right.
right direction, you know, you have 2 guys that moved into the deal that they're not used to the system and
Right.
who's the lead. So that has been all set. They're actually, you know, they got some guys that can,
Yeah,
get it done.
No doubt about it. Those 2 kids that moved in from Missouri, you know, they can shoot and they can play, and they fit right in with those guys now, and they've had whatever 14, 18 games under their belt. So you know, here we go, and it's going to be a heck of a game, you know, no doubt about it. I mean, we're building it up here, but it's worked out perfect. And
Well, and I think right now there's, you know, in Max Preps you're number 1, and other polls you're 1, 2, 3, whatever, you know, what have.
yeah, I keep voting us number 2 because you know Las Cruces hasn't lost,
That's
but
right.
these other teams are, you know, they're coming on our heels too. They're
But La Cueva's moving up into that.
Sure.
You know, you know, they could be probably a, you know, 5, 6, 7 somewhere
Easy.
somewhere in one of those, and so
they're-
it's out of nowhere. I mean,
You know.
if you take 2 weeks ago when
Right.
the city tournament, you know, they get beat,
Yeah.
and then you're thinking they're, you know, a 9-10 team at that time. They moved up 3 or 4 spots just in the last 2 weeks.
It's fun to be one of those teams because you're hunting, you know. And right now we're the hunted. I keep telling our guys the target's on our back. You know, we're up, you know, ahead of a lot of these teams or whatever, and we're being hunted. So.
But
you know.
you like that. I mean, that's where you want to be. That's where you built your. You want to be hunted.
Sure,
Okay.
yeah.
I mean, because you built you know, a mystique about your program, and the great thing about your team, and I don't want people to hear this and think that, you know, that they get it to the kids that do. You guys have unbelievable runs. I mean,
Yeah.
y'all might be just even and just playing great defense, playing deal, and the team scoring, and then as soon as you capitalize on the other team's mistake, as good as probably any team that you've ever had.
I think so. You know, last night.
I mean, I think you had some
Right.
great teams, but I'm just
Yeah.
I've watched a lot, but I'm saying. Because the other day at Sandia, I mean, it was like it was a back and forth game, and there was like 1 minute left to go in the second quarter, and like, boom, 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 and if you would have had 5 more seconds, you probably would have had.
Right. You know, and last night same way. You know, it was a 50-48 game going into
And
the
that's
fourth
where,
quarter.
and we were at La Cueva, and we
Right.
saw that, and then we got the last score. So
And you know, you look at the newspaper and we win by 20. I mean, we did make a good run, but you know, again, Manzano played really well for 3 quarters, and we were able to you know, get some separation there. And you know, this you know, a lot of people say, well, you'll play 5-6 guys, but those 5-6 guys are pretty good. And they're in shape, and they've played together. They played together all summer. You know, 6 guys the whole summer, and that's it. And they want to play. That's the thing. Coach, don't bring up any more guys. We want to play. They want to be in the game. You know, and they're smart. They protect each other. If a guy has 2 fouls, they'll say, hey, I got this. I got him. We'll rotate it. And they're smart like that. They're good kids like that. They're unselfish like that. So, yeah, I really like our team. I really like my team. Good guys.
Well, Roy, we're going to come back and we're going to talk about other teams across the state and about your district, and we're going to have fun.
Sounds good. All right.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a #1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of Proview Sports Network. Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Hey, welcome back to Steve Davis Show. You know, everybody, we're going to touch on this one more time, Roy. I mean, big game. I mean,
Yeah.
every game is big from now on, but I'm just saying this may be a bigger game at the moment than,
Right.
you know, because of the things you said. We know, you know, the band's going to be there. We know the cheerleaders are going to, I can just see the pom-poms. I can see the thing. I can see,
Right.
you know, the adrenaline. I can feel the energy, you know. I mean, I'm already pumped up right now, and it's already, you know, I don't know how you maintain. I mean, you had a game last night. You're overcoming it, and you know, we want to touch on one more. You know, Frank and his success, 700 games. You know,
That's amazing. I mean, I probably will never coach 700 games. I mean, I'm not even close to that. You know, I won't even coach that many games.
And it's not like you're a young.
You know, yeah, I've
you've
coached 25 years, and when he was a head coach at Cibola, I was a player. I was a player in Los Alamos. I remember playing against Cibola. You know, and he was the head coach. So people think I'm old, you know, but he's done a good job with you know, I mean, he's got great assistant coaches, you know, from Steve Davis, you know, Dan Nelson, Gene Pino, Ryan O'Neill, Jerome Espinoza. I mean, we're talking about guys that have been head coaches. Guys have been head coaches around, and they all been coaches with Coach Castillo, and he's been lucky in that way too, in that respect. And I'm sure he, you know, lets you guys know that all the time. I mean, he's had solid people working with him. You know, Kent Coffey now has been with him a long time, and that's part of his 700. You know, if you have good help.
Matt King. I mean,
Matt King, you know, another head coach. You know, I mean, just you can go down the list. I know I named a few of them, and hopefully I didn't forget any of them because they've all done a good job for him and worked at a good school like that, and that's part of the reason, you know, his success. And I'm sure he knows that. But he's been the mainstay in the stable there, and again, you know, congratulations to him.
That's kind of fun for y'all to. I mean, when you came in, he was kind of a mentor. To, you know, I mean,
Right.
y'all formed a relationship,
Yeah.
and it's neat to see you guys talking before the game. And,
Oh, no doubt.
And I know we all have concerns for his mom and dad, and
Right.
you know, it was neat last night to see his dad at the game, and it
You
was.
know, that's a
you
special
know,
moment for him, and
I think that's you know, both of y'all are really about family. And
that's what I was just going to say. He's always asking about my family. It's the first thing he asks every time I see him. He asks about our family, and then we ask about his, and that was a special moment for him.
Then you go to war.
with his dad. Yeah, then it's on. Then it's on.
Hey, Coach, we know what the
Yeah.
real reason.
Exactly. So, you know, I mean, that's special for him.
Well, you know, let's talk about your district. Your district, you know, we talked, you know, really, you know, La Cueva, you know, is y'all are one and, you know, it's 1 and 2, or, you know, somebody's gonna be number 1, number's gonna be 2 on Friday night. But I think, you know, you played with a Manzano team that is
Much improved. That Eric
is-
Sonnenberg kid's, you know,
he's been hurt.
Dakota, yeah. I mean, he's been hurt. He came back. You know, he had some mono, and they're going to be a handful the next time because he's just getting a lot more healthy, and he's a heck of a player. And they play hard. They're a much improved team, and Sandia has really good talent. You know, they're doing a good job. And
Right now they're kind of in a changing their system a little bit, but you know, I did the La Cueva game, and they had one bad quarter, and I think that's something that all teams right now is the team that can play 4 quarters
Right.
is the team that's going to end up with a win column.
32 minutes, you know, and no, Sandia has good talent. They shoot the ball well. You know, talk about 2 head coaches. You know, they have Alvin, but they have Danny Brown over there too that does a good job. You know, and you know, they know what they're doing. Clovis is a solid team, and you know, Santa Fe, you know, Zach Cole does a good job, and with his guys, and it's gonna be.
And the thing about Santa Fe and Clovis is the road trip. I mean,
Right.
I mean, I mean that people don't
Yeah.
understand the road trip because, you know, you have your C team, you have your JV.
Right.
And then, so you have to be there. You got to leave, and
Yeah.
you got a game at 4 o'clock. And in Clovis, I know it's a 3 hour and a half drive, and then probably
on a bus, you know.
bus plus you have to eat, so it's another
Right.
4. I mean, all of a sudden it's 5-hour day, and then you're
you-
5-hour day coming back.
And sometimes that's on a Tuesday night during a school night. So you take kids out of their normal routine, and you're right. You know, you go on the road and it's tough. And you know,
And people, even Santa Fe, to me, Santa Fe was probably the tougher one for me, because you really, because you could still go to school all day, and then you could
Right.
right at 2 o'clock or something. You could leave by 2 o'clock and make it to the game. But then you have to drop the C team off, and then you got to go eat.
Yeah.
So it's like that just seemed to me was a little bit more frustrating than going to a longer trip, because you had more time to get more things in.
And all kids are different. Some of them don't want to eat. Some of them want to eat earlier. Some of them take all their junk on the, you know, they're out of their normal routine. You know, their parents give them all this stuff, and it's like, you know, I mean, we take cases and cases of water to, you know, wherever Clovis, and we bring cases and cases of water back because they're not drinking it. But the parents are so worried about them being hydrated. Well, guess what? There's places alongside the road that you can stop and get something to drink and eat. It's kind of funny, you know. They take care of their kids so well, but you know, just all those dynamics make it different and make it tough, and then you have to play a basketball game against a good team. So, you know, that's where you're at.
Well, real quickly, the rest of the state, you got to be proud of Adrian Ortega. I mean, he's another team that's, you know, he lost in the Metro tournament, but all of a sudden he's, you know, leading his district. And
Oh, they're solid. They're solid, and they have a tough district too. You know, I mean, that Valley game went down to the wire, as you know, you guys, it was on Proview, and I'm proud of him. Me and him are really good friends, and he does a good job. But that district's going to be tough with, you know, West Mesa's a solid team.
you know what? I just want to talk about. We're going to do West Mesa tonight, and
They're good.
and against Albuquerque High. Albuquerque High struggling a little bit right now. And I mean, but West Mesa is a team that's, you know, if you looked at the beginning of the year, they've overachieved. I mean, I'm just saying, I don't want to say any team's over, but I'm just saying they weren't on my radar at all, and then all of a sudden.
Talk about shooters. I mean, they have 3 solid shooters again. I mean, probably more than that, you know. And
I haven't got to see them play tonight. I'm excited to get to see Sean and his team.
You'll be in for a treat. Sean Schreier does a great job. You know, his dad was a longtime coach at Cibola, Phil Schreier, and they know basketball, and he has shooters, and no, Albuquerque High has talent too. They're just fine. You know, you break it down by districts like you are. I mean, that district, night in and night out's a battle. You know, just like ours, and just like, you know, and then you want to move to Cleveland and Rio Rancho. You saw that game the other night. You know, the Cibola's in there, and Volcano Vista's in that district. You break it down like that. It's I mean, they have their own battles in their own districts, and you have to play twice, and they have a little travel with Pedro Vista in there too. So, I mean, here we go. Fun time of year, huh, Steve?
It's fun for me. I get
Exactly.
to see you guys. You know, get to see you before the game, and I get to go home and feel good. I feel bad for whoever loses, because I have so much respect for all the coaches and what they do. But
and you've made great friendships with all these guys. So, I mean, that's tough for you, but you know, we appreciate what you do, and you know, we appreciate your friendship and what Proview's done for the basketball in this community. It's really nice.
Well, Roy, we're out of time, and go get a win this week.
All right, Steve. Thanks, bud.